Morning. We're here at the parking lot, or the parking area for the Fort Henry trail system out at Land Between the Lakes. We're doing a small little impromptu hike this morning. Woke up fairly early, both of us did, and my wife was feeling kind of antsy. We just need to get out and do something. She didn't care what, as long as we were doing something. So we settled on coming out here to one of our favorite little winter hikes, really. The Pickett Loop. It's kind of more of a lollipop trail than a loop, but nonetheless, we're going to do it this morning. It comes out along a little spot on Panther Bay that I like to go kayaking into, and just kind of follows along through that area. Why don't you come along? That's a pretty good morning for a hike. It's probably mid-70s. Humidity's a little bit lower than it has been anyhow. Kind of overcasty, gray, gloomy. It's rained a little bit the last couple of days. We've got quite a bit of rain this year. I think we're 14 inches or better over the yearly average, and it's still August. So anyhow, good morning for being out. And I don't expect to show you a lot on this particular hike. There's not a lot of dramatic things out here, but it's a nice little hike just the same. And, nice little trail that we're on, is fairly flat.
What's that box out there?
Yeah, we're not really sure. We think maybe this little trench here, which, ooh, sorry about that, might be part of the earthworks from Fort Henry during the Civil War. And then my wife discovered this little box out here that she's overly curious about. Looks like a small dumpster of some sort on a concrete pad when we walked up to it, but why is it here? Or that could be an old road bed too, we don't know. We just scared a deer. There it is. Right up. Running away over that there it goes. I don't think we picked it up. And probably the most strenuous part of this whole hike is the climb up this little knob here. It's really not that bad though, just a lot of tree roots. And now we're coming up on the loop portion of the trail. We're finishing up on the little lollipop stem. We get up here to the intersection. We're going to veer to the right. trail gets used a lot too for like cross-country bicycles and mountain bike type of, it's a little course for them. And some parts of it are an old dirt road, probably from before, well, definitely from before it became federal property. Probably rural and residential. Makes for easy walking though. Okay, I'm going to take a little detour real quick just to show you guys something. It's just a little off the way. Man, there are a lot of spider webs out today. My wife likes it that I lead the hikes most of the time because I am her spider web catcher. They terrify her. So yeah, here we are. I'm going to spin the camera around in a second and show you. This is the end of my little detour. Okay. Little Civil War cemetery. These are final resting place of 5 Confederate soldiers in the Fort Donelson and Fort Henry campaign. I'm pretty sure mostly from Fort Henry. Ready, Ray? Yeah, he told you it rained a lot the last couple of days. We're on a little path now, changing ridges. There's the asphalt road that we drove in on is off to the right, just on the crest of the hill there. But this little path here is going to connect the one little dirt road that we were on top of one ridge to another one here in a few minutes. Here we go, back on another old dirt road. It's mostly grown over now. And on the other ridge. On this side, probably have more things to show you. Today also started squirrel season in Tennessee. I suppose it's possible that we could run into some hunters, but very unlikely. It's, in my opinion, still pretty warm to go hunting, but possibility just the same. And up here, just a little bit on the right, if you followed some of my other videos where I went kayaking out on and camped out on a little back spot in Panther Bay, this top of the hill here, if you were to veer off to the right and then follow the ridge a ways on through the woods, blah blah blah, you'd bump into that little camp spot too. So should be able to, I don't know, see maybe some water and stuff later on, but depends on how much you can see through the leaves. A few early glimpses of color. Not a lot just yet, but getting there soon. Not much to really see, but that blue down there, well, bluish, is part of the entrance into Panther Bay. We're just looking at it from the bluff above. It's really pretty in this spot, you know, in the fall and late winter and stuff, but you just can't see much from here. We're, yeah, there's some better glimpses there. There we go. That's better. There's a houseboat, some partiers in over here off to the right, so I apologize for all their noise. Pretty in it. Big raccoon. Yeah. You can keep, there he is. That's pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Is this where we usually take a break?
Yeah, this is one of our little spots where we usually take a break. It's an old home site before the government bought all the land and flooded it. So, according to the guidebooks that we have from the dated back to the 90s, this magnolia tree here too was one that these the people who owned the house that may have planted. And that's all that remains of his fireplace. I'm not sure about that. And this is where his house was, or theirs. And I think the little raccoons are still up there. We didn't make too much noise. They could withstand the partiers. They can put up with us, I'm sure. Okay, so we're going to go take a little break back down here on the shoreline. And it looks like we were just out here a couple weeks ago floating it, and it looks like they opened the dams and are starting to drain some of the water down, getting ready for winter pull, I'm sure. But it looks quite a bit lower than it has been, which is kind of nice to know. I guess my Panther Bay camp a much bigger shoreline to land on and fish from.
That's on this side, right?
Up there at that point, we put in usually at Boswell Landing when we come kayaking out here, and that'd be one more point off to the left. And then last week we were beyond the party boat there. We went on to the other shoreline across the other side. It's a little over a mile or so, and we're looking for some spots that way to camp at. Okay, and from here the trail is going to follow along at the point of the bay. We're going to go in down near where the creek feeds it, and then come across this side of the shore. At some point we're going to hook left again, and then head back out towards the Fort Henry area where we started, finishing the loop part. Okay, let's see if I can do this without moving around too much. We started here, and that's the lollipop part, and we came down this way. The little Civil War cemetery is over here in the middle, and followed the Panther Bay, Oops. Followed the Panther Bay, and we're coming around now on this little bitty bay, and we're right in here. Sorry, I keep moving the camera. So we've just got to go around the bay here, come back out, and follow the lollipop. So it appears that the Forest Service is going to cut down the surrounding trees and preserve the homestead magnolia. And one last look at the guy's fireplace. And now coming through some of the bottom land. This is soft on the feet and lush and green. Spiders aren't hurting out here. And now we're on the back side of that bay. So here's the little bay, the nameless one is. Luckily, behind the cedar tree is the partiers, and further on out is Kentucky Lake to the left, and then Panther Bay on the far part to the right. Okay, there's this big tree here in the background. That's remnants of an old home site before the government bought all this. And we're on the Kentucky Lake side, so I want to think that this is Roosevelt era TVA. So it would have made it all in the 1930s. So all this other around the trail here is new growth after it became federal property. But this big monster tree here, which is dead now, pretty much all that's left of someone else's home site. I've walked in here in the wintertime when you can see around quite a bit, and you can still find a few of the old corner foundation stones, but the home itself is all but gone. Okay, so we made it back to the lollipop portion of the hike. So I'm going to turn the camera off from here. Can't give you any of the stats. I don't remember. We've done this hike so many times now. I want to think it's either 3.5, maybe 5 miles. I don't know. I'll put it up at the end of the video though. It's been a pretty good little outing. Wasn't overly exciting, but it's still a pretty good little day to walk around the woods. Humidity's starting to pick up a little bit, but still not as bad as it has been. So I want to thank you for spending time with us this morning, and we'll see you next time.